development. Who knows where career and professional development is located? By your hand first.
Sid Rich.
Sid Rich, all right. So you get a squeezy bear or a Post-it notebook.
I'll take the notebook, I guess.
All right. So yes, we are over in Sid Rich. If you have not been over there in the last, say, month or so, on the first floor, they're redoing our whole floor, so you may not recognize it at all. We do a lot of things over in career professional development, and that's why I brought you one of these. A lot of people really don't know what we do over there. One of the things that we do is talk about LinkedIn, which we're going to get to in just a second. But we also help you with your resumes, cover letters, graduate school applications, personal statements, all of those types of things we can help you with. And if you just want to thumb through this when you have some time, it will tell you all about that. Now, with that being said, towards the back, if you open it up, there's a whole section in here on how to build a good LinkedIn profile. So you can look at this when you get back to your apartment, dorm, or whatever, and it'll probably refresh your memory on some of the things that I'm going to go over. I've also given you a handout that I actually pulled off the LinkedIn webpage on how to network in LinkedIn. So that's just another resource that you all can use. If you all have ever been on LinkedIn's website, there's a whole section on students. There's an app actually for students too. So if you wanted to just download that app, you can put in your major, your resume, all those types of things, and it'll start matching you up with jobs. Now, speaking of jobs, who knows about HireBear / you know what it's called now? What's that? Handshake. Very good. So you also get a choice between a notebook and a squeezy bear. You get the bear. All right. So we used to call it HireBear, and now we call it Handshake. Handshake is where all of our events are listed. If we have any employers coming to campus and you want to network with them, great opportunity to get on there and just see what's going on campus. All of our career fairs are listed on there. All of our jobs, our internships are all on Handshake. We can help you with Handshake if you want to come in as well. So let's talk about LinkedIn a little bit. Who has a LinkedIn profile already? Okay, almost half. Not bad, not bad. Who has a LinkedIn profile that is actually built up and ready to go and not something that you did for a class? You do? All right, so you get a book. And I'll apologize ahead of time. You'll probably hear my phone buzzing. My daughter is at a track meet and I'm getting updates. So, okay, so just before we start, does anybody have any questions that they just I have no idea what LinkedIn is? All right, so let me just go over the basics of LinkedIn. LinkedIn is kind of like a professional Facebook. So if you go into LinkedIn, you're going to see things that have to do with your career development. You're going to see things that have to do with the types of groups that you may have joined. And they're going to be posting stories for you to read, and then you can kind of keep up to date on all the latest and greatest in whatever industry that you're in. So for me, I've got a lot of human resources, recruiting, higher education stuff coming through my feed. You guys, just whatever your major might be, those are the types of things that come through your feed. Now, you're not going to post on LinkedIn that I'm going to Austin, South by Southwest. Now, you could say I'm going to a conference in Austin. That would be acceptable for LinkedIn. So I just want to kind of make the distinction on social media, what's acceptable and what's not. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with this. Click. Maybe not. Oh, there we go. All right, so why be on LinkedIn? There's a lot of reasons to be on LinkedIn, and most of it just has to do with networking and exposure for yourself. So it's the fourth most popular social network in terms of unique monthly visitors. Over 467 million users worldwide. More than 90% of U.S. companies use LinkedIn to recruit, which I actually didn't even know until I was looking this stuff up. 39 million students and recent grads have profiles. And then I've got a quote here from Holly Paul, a U.S. recruiting leader for PricewaterhouseCoopers. It's no longer enough to simply have a solid resume. Students now need to have a professional online presence. So, if you were to apply with career and professional development, guess what? We look at your LinkedIn. We look at your Facebook too. So make sure all of that stuff's clean. All right, so let's talk about the basics of LinkedIn. How to set up a profile. What's good to put on your profile, what is not. So nobody wants to see this. This is what it looks like when you don't have any information, and this is a real profile I pulled off yesterday. They don't have any information except that they're a Baylor student, there's no picture or anything. So it's kind of tough if a recruiter's looking to get any information on you to decide whether he wants to contact you or not. So, adding a picture to your profile is 14 times more likely to be viewed. So it's very important that you have a profile picture. The problem is a lot of people don't have the right profile picture. And you've probably seen a lot of those if you've been on LinkedIn. I actually had one guy, he had Tombstone as his profile picture. Still don't know why. All right, so this is a good LinkedIn profile picture. And if any of you guys have ever been to our career fairs, we offer a photographer to come in and take a picture of you. And then you can put it on your LinkedIn profile. How many people have been to our career fairs through career and professional development? Good, awesome. All right, so professional dress, a nice background, and a picture, from mid to upper chest and above. You don't really need the full body shots. So this is a good LinkedIn profile picture. This, not so much. So obviously, no pets or babies, please. We have, again, it's not Facebook. We really don't want to see your dogs, your cats, my kids. I don't have my kids on my profile picture. Not professionally dressed, bad backdrop, and poor lighting. And I'm sure there's a lot of other things that you could probably say about that picture. But I think we can all agree that's not a really good picture. All right, so now we've got your picture set up. Now we're going to talk about all of the different things that's going to get you more looks. One of the things that you can do is put as many skills on your profile as possible. Now, it could be very simple skills, and all you have to do is click on the skills, and you can add those skills. For me, it's going to be like recruiting, human resources, higher education. For you guys, you might have some leadership roles that you've taken on campus, this group. If you're an officer with the group, that would be a great thing to list. So list as many as possible. Problem solving, Microsoft Excel, networking, economics, those are just examples. Now people list skills on their profiles are 13 times more likely to be viewed again. They want to see that information. They don't want to see, it's kind of like somebody with a bad resume. Basically LinkedIn is just an online resume. More than 5 skills listed is 17 times more likely. And endorse people that you know. So all you have to do is go in and click on the skill next to their name, and you've endorsed them. You're saying, this person is good at whatever you think that they're good at. And then LinkedIn will encourage them to actually come back and endorse you as well in some of the skills that you have. The more endorsements that you have, it's not just me saying I'm good at something, it's everybody else saying I'm good at something. All right, so this is a screenshot of of skills that I've listed, and I'm sorry it's kind of hard to read. It looked fine on my computer. But this person was actually a Baylor student that I helped out last semester. So like community outreach, career opportunities, job fairs, screening resumes, all of those things are listed. Now I've added some of those things myself, but some of the people that endorse me have actually added other skills that I may have not even thought about. So do that for your friends. Try to get them to have a good profile and help each other out. Now recommendations is something that honestly, they're not used a whole heck of a lot. I've only got one recommendation for me, and I didn't solicit it. The guy just out of the blue wrote one for me. So recommendations allows you to be recommended by former, current coworkers or friends or anyone else that you're connected to. And if you write a recommendation, again, LinkedIn will kind of encourage you, or that person, to write a recommendation for you. So just so, you see what this looks like. This was a recommendation that was written for me back when I worked for the Workforce Commission. He worked out at one of the poultry plants here, and I helped him for a few years, so he wrote me a nice recommendation, and then I went back and I wrote him one as well. Education. Again, this is just like an online resume. When you list your education, put your expected graduation date. A lot of people, they'll just leave it blank. So you want that recruiter to know what year that you're going to graduate. Any relevant coursework that you can list is very helpful, especially with the lower classmen. They haven't had any good work experience yet. So if you can put the relevant coursework that you've done, it shows that you've been exposed to all of those theories, all of that, those projects and things that you've worked on. And in fact, LinkedIn has a section that you can list projects in. Find opportunities to show some leadership, that's always a plus. And going back to high school activities, if you're a freshman, that's okay, but I kind of shy away from that myself. Any freshmen here? Probably not. Sophomores? Okay. Sophomores, it's still okay to list some high school stuff. Don't list your actual high school, like I went to Waco High. You can list some of the activities that you've done, some of the honor societies that you may have been involved in. But then after you get to your junior year, all of that stuff should be gone. Any questions on education? All right, so this is a screenshot of my education. I went to the University of Texas, I went to McLennan Community College, then I actually returned to McLennan Community College and got my alternative certification years later to teach junior high and high school. Now the other thing that you can do is get more looks is by following people and companies. I follow actually a bunch of different companies, but always follow the companies that you're interested in working for, because you're going to get their news feeds, you're going to find out what's going on with their company, and then if you do get an interview, you can always tell them, hey, you know, I've been keeping up with your company. They look at your profile, they see what groups, what companies you follow, and they're going to say, oh, you know, we've got Lockheed Martin, that, you know, they're following me. So it's just kind of something that it's a courtesy to do. It's good LinkedIn etiquette to follow the companies that you're applying for. Any questions on that? All right, I'm going to, this is actually Adam Kay, our employer relations manager. This is his shot right here of all of the people that he's following. He's actually following Bill Gates, which I thought was kind of funny. So I've got his screenshot in there. Now the other thing that you can do is you can send what they call in-mails through LinkedIn. And what I want to do is try to jump on and see how this is going to work and show you actually how this works. This is going to lead into actual networking with people and making connections with people in your industry that you're interested in getting in with. Password I use for LinkedIn. I usually sign on to my own. All right, we'll just go ahead and try to use this. Okay, so when you're going through LinkedIn and you want to send somebody a message, they have the messaging app up there, but you have to be connected to that person first to do that directly. So now I want to show you how to look for people that are in your network, possibly do some career exploration in LinkedIn as well. So all you do, you can search for different universities. I'm going to choose Baylor, obviously. And if you see this button, it says See Alumni. Can everybody see that okay? So Baylor has over 72,000 alumni that are registered within LinkedIn. Those are all people that you can make connections with. It's great to have alumni that are in the fields that you're trying to get into. So one of the things that I do as a career advisor is I try to figure out who has been hired by companies that are from Baylor. And this is one of the ways that I do that. So I wanted to show you on the right-hand side, there's the next button. And over here, you can see what they've studied. So we've got a lot of business and a lot of psychology students, a lot of biology students and marketing. So let's just go and look at psychology students. I have a lot of psychology students coming to me. I'm a psychology major. What can I do with my degree? Well, this is exactly how we find out what you can do with your degree. So after I chose psychology, it sent me back to the first page. So if you look on the left, it says where they live, in the middle, where they work, and on the right, what they do. So you can see by this, most people that have psychology degrees that are registered in LinkedIn are working in the healthcare field. Secondly, they're working in education. So I might have somebody come in and they say, well, I'd like to work in education. So we click on education. And now we're down to 519, all the way from 72,000. Then you can say, well, I live in the Dallas area. I'd like to kind of go home over the summer and get an internship. So let's click on Dallas. These are all the places that these people are working in the Dallas area that have a psychology degree or that have studied psychology. So for the most part, the ISDs, that's kind of self-explanatory. But we've got, let's see, Cisco, that's probably an ISD too. So let's look at the medical center, UT Southwestern Medical Center. So now we're all the way down to 2 people. And these are the 2 people right here. So we have funneled down using all of these different filters to find exactly what you would like to do. So we've got an assistant professor and a research coordinator. Well, Lindsay here, I've always wanted to be involved in research. So let's look at Lindsay's profile. She went to Baylor University, got a psychology degree, graduated in 2013. So you know something about her. You know how long ago she graduated. Then she did undergraduate research assistant, and now she's the research coordinator. So you can see her career path, what it took for her to get where she is now. You see all of these different companies that she may have worked for, and those are companies that you can approach as well. Sometimes they've done internships. You can go and you can assume that they might hire you too for an internship and contact them. Now, let's back up a little bit. So Lindsay graduated about 3 years ago. She's in the Dallas area. You live in the Dallas area. You can contact her, and this is one of the best uses for LinkedIn in networking. All you have to do is hit connect, and then add a note. Now, I always add a note because you can personalize it. And I'm kind of getting ahead of myself because this is part of my presentation too, but I think this is probably better than looking at slides. So with this, you can say, hi Lindsay, I noticed that you're a Baylor alum with a psychology degree. I'm currently studying psychology at Baylor University. I was wondering if you could accept my connection request so I can ask you some questions about your career. And usually with the ones that have graduated more recently, they're more apt to respond to you. Somebody like me that's been out of school forever, I probably couldn't relate if I didn't work at a university, to somebody, in their, early 20s So I always would just go for the people that graduated recently if you can. But we had this one student come in today, she wants to get into entertainment law. And we found somebody that, she's like, that's exactly what I want to do. And we found this guy, he's probably a little bit younger than me, and she's going to outreach him just to find out, how did you get where you are? He had a business degree, then he went to the Baylor Law School. So she's going to outreach him, and hopefully they'll make a connection. But this is how you kind of build up a network. So we've got some sophomores, juniors, any seniors? Okay. So seniors, if you haven't started networking, start networking now. Honestly, it's a little late to start, but it's never too late to start. So go ahead and get in LinkedIn. Find people that are doing the job that you would want to do. Send them a connection request. Don't feel bad if they don't respond. A lot of, probably goes to junk mail. I get a lot of connection requests, but it's like insurance salesman and stuff like that, so I'm not going to take those. Okay, so any questions on making a connection? All right, so remember, always send a personalized note. Now you can send an in-mail, but we're not connected yet. So if I try to do that, they're going to try to get me to upgrade. Once you get a connection, you're going to be able to send mail, in-mail through LinkedIn. Okay. Let me get back. Like I said, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself here. Worked before, so switch. Anybody know how you switch between screens?
Try this place that used to be on.
Oh, that's where I was. You're right. There we go. Okay, so just as I was saying, if you're already connected with someone, you can send unlimited in-mails. Only paid LinkedIn account will allow you to send emails to people you're not connected to, and again, it makes these connection requests very important. So this is a mail that I sent. This was somebody that I actually know outside of Baylor. I knew that he was an IT guy, and I wanted to see if he was interested in offering internships to Baylor University students, and that's how I connected with him. All right, so groups I kind of touched on earlier. It's really important to start following groups that are in your industry, or even Baylor groups. There's a bunch of Baylor groups out there too. Now you can do it by doing a search for keywords at the top, just like I typed in Baylor University when I was looking for Baylor to narrow down all of the alumni. You can do the same thing, and I'll show you that here in just a second. So it's a great way to increase the number of people who request a connection. If you're in the same group as someone, you don't have to be connected to them to send them an email, which is great. It builds a reputation, like-minded people, and recruiters will look to see how active you are in the group. So these are some of the groups that are on LinkedIn right now. So Hire Bear, obviously, that's what our group is called through Career and Professional Development. We hope everybody, when they get to LinkedIn, they'll start following us. University Computer Science and Bioinformatics alumni. I don't know how many times I've had people come to me that are bioinformatics students saying, what can I do with my degree? There's a great group that you can join.